All right, guys, here we are at the Hyatt Regency in Orlando, the home of the 2020 Mr. Olympia, because they moved it from Vegas. Thank you, universe, because now I got to drive an hour instead of having to travel across the country. But we're here, actually, it's Monday, and we're here for the Amateur Olympia, which happens tomorrow morning. And so we've got some amazing competitors, which you just saw footage of about half of them. The other half I'm gonna meet up with later in the day. But the Amateur Olympia is a NPC worldwide competition, so it's open to anybody, anywhere, no qualifier. They give out 3 pro cards for bikini, the top 3 in the overall, so you get to win your class, and then get in the overall, and then get in top 3 in that overall, and you can get a pro card. So, we're here for that. That's gonna be tomorrow morning. We're gonna go check into the hotel. Just thought I'd give you guys some behind the scenes chit chat about what's going on. But it's exciting because this is the week of the actual Olympia. So Amateur Olympia is Tuesday. De Raja will be on stage Saturday. So I'm gonna document the crap out of that. And I'm excited to bring you guys along for the journey, so let's go. Go ahead. Good.
I rub a little bit more.
All right, transition. Excellent. Face front. Hair is big and full.
Got it washed today.
I would say small, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I feel like you're just a little bit flat.
Oops.
Very good. All right, transition. Yeah, you've gotten very good at this pose in a short time, so that's good.
Stressed me out for a while.
Face front.
Oh shit.
And you got, yeah, don't forget, it's
Carpet
in here. And you've got hair extensions, because I know your hair is a lot longer on stage.
Yeah, it's
Good. All right, everybody, welcome to the video for today, which is going to be about the 2020 Amateur Olympia. And I just figured I'd take you guys through what happens at a show. We're going to talk about the day before the show. So this is our final little pump-up session the day before the show. This is Maria Nemeth, who, if you've been watching the videos, you're pretty familiar with. She's won 2 overalls this year, got 3rd at Nationals. So, you know, anytime she's in a show, she's going to be in the mix. A minute ago, you saw some check-ins. So what I like to do the day before the show is actually get eyes on the competitors, because we're making last-minute changes. We check in every single day during peak week. Food is going up, cardio is coming down. So we just want to make sure things are in place. And this last little pump-up session is just basically a placeholder. We're not trying to build muscle. We're not trying to lose fat. We just want to keep moving so that we can continue to add food. We can ensure that the food's going to the right places. Now, this is Yulia. She's Romanian. She flew in for this show. She's not a U.S. citizen, so the Amateur Olympia is one of the shows that you can do and earn an IFBB Pro card if you're not a U.S. citizen. You are not allowed to do the national shows, such as USA's, North Americans, if you are not a U.S. citizen. Now, you can do North Americans if you're Canadian, because you are in North America, obviously. But yeah, so for Yulia, the only 2 shows she can really do in the United States is the Arnold and the Amateur Olympia. So Yulia was looking fantastic. We were able to get her food up nice and high before show, which really allows you to fill out. This is Danielle Patterson, who, again, another really lean client. And this was a case where I saw her the day before the show and realized she was quite flat. And she told me she was not really getting good pumps. So pumps indicate to me that we're a little bit dehydrated if you're not able to get one as food's going up. So we're able to add in some sodium, add in some water. And this is Dilru. Dilru had a great season. She actually won 2 overalls in the same show. She took a Masters and Open overall at the All-South Clash, and she missed her pro card by 1 spot at Universe, getting 2nd in her bikini class. So she's a pro any day now, and she had a great day at this show. So this is Jessie. This is Steven's client. She came all the way from Calgary, Canada. So we had 2 Canadians come down for this show, which was fantastic. And a little more footage of Maria. This is the last show of the year. I mean, obviously it's late in December, but this show usually happens in September. So had it happened on its normal schedule, a lot of these girls probably aren't doing this show. But we really wanted to take advantage of the fact that it had moved to Orlando, which is only about an hour from my house. So instead of having to fly to Vegas, stay in Vegas for the entire week, because that's what I did last year for the Amateur Olympia and the Olympia, I was able to drive over and drive home. And then I'll be heading back shortly to go to the Olympia to support my first ever Olympian client, and that's Raja. So yeah, what I like to do the day before the show is just a full upper and lower body, not trying to make anybody sore. You don't want really sore muscles going into a show. The goal is just to make sure that the food we're eating is going into the muscles. And it does really help the competitor because you look and feel better when you work out. Sometimes sitting around is not a great thing for the mind and the body of a competitor who's been training for months for a competition. So I find this is a great way to get in the gym, pose, see how you look, build some confidence, and then enjoy the rest of your day. So we're doing this workout pretty early in the morning. I think it was about 10 a.m. And this gym was pretty close to the convention center where the show was. And it was really nice because they actually had a posing room. So we were able to go through some posing practice, which I'll show you guys. As you can see, it's all serious here with Jesse. But the gym was really nice. It's called Iron Religion. I think it was very spread out. There was a lot of space in here, so there was, no issues with keeping our social distance and stuff. So the rule was you had to wear a mask if you were not training. So if you were training at a station, you could keep your mask off. So that was nice. And then we did a little bit of glutes, a little bit of legs. Again, not trying to set any PRs. The goal here is just focus on eating and training and having a good time. And it's also, I'll be honest, it's a nice little kind of bond builder, right? Because I don't get to work out with these girls on a daily basis. So getting in there and getting to see them, getting to see how their form is, it's nice. We get to have some laughs. We get to talk and take some pictures and videos. And if you follow my Instagram, I posted a bunch of this stuff on my Instagram stories. And to be honest, I'm such a fan of the sport and of these physiques that getting to see these girls, their weekly pictures and their daily pictures during peak week, it does not do them justice. Like in person, they simply look amazing. So getting pictures and getting videos in person is something that I really look forward to. So this was just a great experience for that. So we're just finishing up a last few sets here. Now, not all the girls could make it because this was the day before the show. Some of the girls actually were getting things done. They were getting manicures and getting their tans done and setting up their, I actually had 2 girls that had done USAs on Sunday were flying. They didn't even get in till 5 or 6 o'clock at night. So, we didn't get the entire group of 11 girls, but we did get a couple of them here, and then I got to see some of them later in the room. But the point is, we want to, as much as we can, spend time together, get to talk. The great thing about these women is not only the amazing athletes, but they're just great people. They all support each other. If someone needs some bikini bite, if someone needs some help with a suit or posing, I think it's very important to have support. These are strong women that support each other. So the cool thing about Iron Religion Gym, check out this posing room. So they were actually able to get in here and pose, and we were able to go over what it's like to be on a national stage. For some of them, this was the first time. So we wanted to make sure that they understood how the judging worked. And absolutely. So we put everybody here. Now, I would love for you to hear what I'm saying to them. I'm explaining to them the call outs. I'm explaining them how to move. What I'll see here is see how Dilru is posing straight ahead. She should be posing towards the head judge. So if ever you're in a show and you're all the way on the end in your class, do not pose towards the audience. Pose towards the head judge. So just minor things like that. Like these little tiny things when you get to a national show where there's going to be 8 or 9 girls in your call out and, maybe 20 to 40, sometimes more girls in your class. Those tiny little things really matter. And Dilru's such a fantastic competitor. I just wanted to make sure that we were doing what we needed to do. So what we're doing here is just practicing our call outs, practicing moving around. The goal being getting them to a point where they're comfortable and confident in what they're doing all the way up to stage. Because once the show starts, things start to go fast, anxiety gets high. You really want to put people in a position where they're going to be successful well before the show happens. So yeah, and this was nice. We had people come in from Canada, we had people from Hawaii. So this Amateur Olympia show really is a high caliber show. There is no qualifier for it, so there will be some physiques that you find that aren't as high level as, say, a national show, but I promise you the people that succeed at this show are phenomenal. So this was just our last little chance to pose, and it was really cool that Iron Religion had a posing room, and I think I'll actually be in this room posing with Raja, so I'll get you guys some footage of that. So yeah, now you can check us out trying to take a picture outside before the show starts. Picture for us. Oop, don't touch that.
Blair, can you take a picture after of both everybody? The coaches?
Should be okay right here, right?
If I can get 1, 2, 3.
All right, guys. Well, here we are at the 2020 Amateur Olympia. Miss Yulia. So we got 11 Team Pro Physique girls about to hit the stage in the next hour or so. We just took some fun team photos so I can remember. I'll go ahead and add those to the edit here. But yeah, we're just anxiously awaiting. We got about an hour left. Everybody looks great. Hair, makeup, tans are all done. Just time to get backstage, make final adjustments, and we're good to go. So let's see everybody.
About getting it.
Oh, hello.
I'm not gonna say it now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I have the idea.
I have it too. Okay.
Yeah.
I might have to come on and help.
Want the rice cake? Yeah. I'm gonna
All right, guys, so I figured I'd walk you through all the competitors. I think I got a video of just about everybody. Now, this is Miss Juana Nunez, who has been a client of mine for a few years now, and she actually did this prep in 2.5 weeks. She's from Chicago. They've been locked down. They haven't left the house, and her husband came down to Florida. She wasn't quite as conditioned as we need her to be. You know, she's a very beautiful woman, carries a lot of muscle, but at a show like this, if you're not in epic conditioning, which she is from the front, as you can see, her front pose looks on, but, you know, that lower... The lower body from the back just wasn't quite where it needed to be for her to be in a top call out. However, this young lady was in a top call out, and this was Dilru, and she's you can see the MC there asking her how to say her name. So she's actually from Sri Lanka, and she's done some great things this year, including winning the double overall Masters and Open at the Clash, and missing her pro card by one spot at Universe. So, you know, we brought her in. I got to work with her on her posing, and it's always just fun to see a competitor of this caliber. I mean, she's got just beauty, structure, full muscle bellies. You know, I did have a talk with her after this. I thought that her posing, she gets a little bit relaxed up on stage sometimes. As you see there, she's kind of pinching her shoulders. I was working with her on opening that up a little bit more, but all just minor things. She's a superstar, and I'm loving seeing her every time we get up on stage. And she was actually in the largest class of the day. So this was the 35 and over Bikini Masters. And, you know, at a show of this size, you never really know what's going to happen. When you get classes this large, you know, there's definitely going to be some talent in here. So this was actually first call outs. So as you'll see, Dilru holds center the entire prejudging. And when you hold center out of 8, that means typically you're either in first or second. And so, you know, it was great to see her holding center, and I thought she was executing her poses great here. When she got to the open class was when she struggled. So, you know, we're looking for what the judges are doing. Now, this was a different judge than I had seen. I'd only seen this judge, his name's Bill, one time this year, and that was in Tahoe. So, you know, it's just a little bit different standards sometimes from some of the judges. They look for different things. However, it doesn't really change our game plan. We still bring in the best package possible. And Dilru certainly did that. So I was thrilled with how she looked and how she performed. And this was Juana in second call-outs. And again, I think hers just literally came down to a little bit of lower body conditioning. We have finished as high as second, missing her pro card by one spot at North Americans 2 years ago. So I think next year, I told her we need to focus on at least having a full prep, not 3 weeks. And we'll get her pro card next year. And this is Valentina Rodriguez, who had just finished in, I believe, 8th or 9th at USA's. She was in first call-outs, and she won the overall at the Governor's Cup. She was kind of crazy. You know, she said she wanted to do USA's and the Amateur Olympia. The reason that was tough was because USA's was on Sunday. So she finished with finals on Sunday, got on an airplane Monday morning, flew to Orlando. Check-ins went till 8 p.m. She made it to check-ins. I think she was a little off her look at USA's. She wasn't quite as tight. So with that, we just wanted to focus on making sure we did everything we could to bring her in. Now this is Autumn. Autumn came all the way from Canada. Her and her husband came down to get just to get out of Canada for a while because they were on complete lockdown. She managed to get in 2 shows while she was in Canada, but the issue with the Canadian shows was, I mean, at one show she actually had to sit in her car until her class started. You know, they were dealing with some pretty severe COVID restrictions. So this was the second call out for Class A. So both of the girls, Valentina and Autumn, were in the second call outs. I think Valentina ended up finishing in the top 10 and Autumn just outside of it. Autumn just needs more muscle. She's got great shape, great structure, And Valentina is definitely got that pro shape and pro look. She's just so young. She's just turned 21. So she was able to have a drink with us after the show for the first time. And this is Miss Sierra. Sierra's a rock star. She actually was on track for Universe to come in and do great. She got COVID, and that didn't set her back too far. But then right after that, she dropped a dumbbell on her plate, couldn't even walk for a few weeks, broke her toe. So the fact that she still made it here, and actually she missed her pro card at USA's by 1 spot. And this is Miss Yulia Baba, who is my Romanian client, and as I mentioned, she doesn't have a green card, so she can only do 2 pro qualifiers in the United States each year, the Amateur Olympia and the Arnold. And she brought in some fantastic conditioning. We were really able to bring her food up quite a bit before stage. And here's a fun story. This is Rebecca Hunt, who I met this year in Tulsa while traveling. She was actually our server after one of the shows, and I mentioned how jacked she was, and she mentioned she competes, and then one of my coaches actually knew her. So I was able to talk to her about prepping this year, and she did an awesome job. We did a show in Texas. She got 2nd in her class, and she ended up getting 4th here, which was fantastic. So we'll go through some of the call-outs so you guys can see just how good these shows are. So this was actually Class D, and this was one of the longer call-outs. So this is first call-out in Class D, and if you're looking at the stage from here, you'll see that they have 8 girls on stage. All the way on the left in the red hair, that's Rebecca. 3rd from the left, that's Maria. Green suit in the middle there is Yulia. And then as we go across, some of the other girls. So what we're really trying to do here is just work our way into the middle. With Maria, I always expect her to kind of win her class. She's done very well this year, so I just kept waiting for them to move her. What actually ends up happening is they don't really move a lot of people, but they take Rebecca all the way from the end. And I think that'll be the next move. So they did move another girl into the middle here, the young lady in the green. And then they take Rebecca and they move her. So technically, even though this is all the way across the stage, she went from the 7-8 position to the 5-6 position, which means she could be 5th, she could be 6th. And then they moved the girl that was in the 7-8 to another 5-6. They swap her. And so what the judges are doing here is they're moving people in position, and they're going to have them face the back again. This is what you want as a competitor. You want the judges paying attention. You want the judges looking, not just phoning it in. You want them, comparing side by side. So what they're doing is they're saying, hey, we'd like to see this person, based on from the back. You'll see like they're looking for fullness. They're looking for shape. They're looking for many different things, depending on the criteria that judge prefers that day. So, as a coach, what I'm hoping for is every time they turn them around, I'm like, okay, Maria looks great, Yulia looks great, Rebecca looks great. I just want to keep seeing them move in. And actually here you see it happen right at the very end. They move Rebecca in. So all 3 girls finished in the top 4. However, I was a little bummed Maria didn't end up in the middle with Yulia because I thought they were the best 2. But of course, I have coach's goggles. And here's Dani Patterson. Dani is someone who has amazing structure, amazing shape. And by that, I mean she has wide shoulders, the tiny waist, the great muscle fullness. She just needs more size. She's got all the tools to be a pro. We just need to give her a little bit more density in the back, the shoulders, the glutes, and she's going to be someone that has no problem getting on stage and shining as a pro. She's got all the things you like as a taller competitor. This is Miss Avroar in the red suit, and she came all the way from Hawaii. Now, she did have some trouble this year with lockdown, and she did this show last year and got top 5, I think 5th. And so when she came back this year, I noticed she was a little lighter, not as full in the muscle bellies. And I think just some of that comes down to the fact that she wasn't able to train with the same kind of consistency that she was the year before. But she was able to do a show in Hawaii a few weeks ago and actually won the overall. So, that kind of got me excited to see her in person, because if the judges at an NPC show felt she should win the overall, then this is kind of where you need to go. This is what you need to be doing, is getting up on the national stage. So now we're looking at the first call-outs for, I believe this is Class F, and Dani snuck into this one as a top 6. They only called out 6 for this one. So now we're looking for Dani to be kind of kept in that top 3, top 4, maybe even move to the middle. But as you can see, if you're looking at Dani second from the right, you can just tell she does not have the muscle maturity some of these girls have. These girls are very, very dense. And the girl that they just moved to the middle, I saw her at Junior USA's this year. I believe her name is Julie. She is fantastic. She was at the Arnold as well. So as I've been to so many shows over the the last couple of years, and especially this year, you just start to recognize some familiar faces. And so if you look at glute size fullness here, you'll notice some of the girls just have more full round glutes and more developed upper bodies. And that's what this sport is about. It's about getting up on stage, comparing yourself to the best, taking some time off, and coming back, because you don't get better during prep, right? You get leaner, and you can look better, but you're not really putting on as much muscle as you can during a quality improvement season. And here's my man, Stephen Bogrand's client. This is Jessie from Calgary, and she was just a delight to be around. First time getting on a stage of this size. And we got to train with her the day before the show, pose with her the day before the show. So a lot of these events are just great for team building. And, a lot of this experience for these girls is about getting to see what it's like at this stage. And I think Jessie is another one. She's got all the shape, all the beauty, just needs a little more time under the bar to put on some more dense muscle. And she's going to be a force for years to come. And here we go into the awards. So, this is the Masters Awards. So I was hoping to hear Dilru's name called in first place because I knew she was top 2, but she did end up taking second. But the girl that beat her, she looked amazing. So, when they were comparing them, I was like, man, that girl has like fuller glutes. I thought Dilru had better structure and a better upper body, but they obviously both look amazing. And this is where it's out of my hands. This is up to the judges. And ultimately we're just trying to put the competitors in a place where they're going to be, judged. And listen, I'm trying to make the judges' job easy. I'm trying to bring in such amazing competitors that they don't really have to worry about it. Now, this was an interesting class because I had 3 of these amazing competitors in one class. So Class D, Rebecca Hunt got 4th place, as you see there. And then they bring Maria in. Maria gets 3rd place. So now all I'm hoping here is that we don't hear Yulia's name. When you're watching these placings, you just want to hear somebody else's name when they say second, because Yulia was splitting center. And lo and behold, Yulia did end up getting the gold medal for this class. So it was an exciting moment for her. I could see, when she came off stage for prejudging, she was kind of shaking and she said she was crying backstage. And, those are the moments that as a coach you kind of live for, just seeing all their hard work, all their dedication come down to a moment like that where they get to win their class at an Amateur Olympia, get a gold medal, and then get in the overall. So I thought I'd show you guys some of the overall just so you can see what the class winners look like, because at a show of this size, there's only 3 pro cards. And I'll say this, because there's no qualifier, you'll often see some girls at this show that, probably wouldn't actually qualify for a national show because of the requirements to place top 2. But the overalls, I promise you, these girls all brought it. These are some amazing competitors, and there was a lot of muscle at this show. So a lot of these girls have muscle. The nice thing is you've got Yulia there in the green splitting middle, right? So I thought, just on the eye test when I was watching, she was one of the harder competitors, very full, definitely doesn't have as much muscle as some of the other girls, but she did have better conditioning. So, I was hopeful that she would hold that spot, because typically at these shows, the girls in the middle are the ones that are going to be winning. So we're looking at, the middle 4 are going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you want to end up in that middle 4 before they start announcing the winners for the pro cards. So this is where they start to move people around. So immediately they move Yulia out into the 3-4 position, which, hey, I'm okay with that. She's in the 3-4. She's still in the mix. Then they move the girl from G into the 3-4 position, and I believe they move her in again into the 1-2 position. Yulia forgot her number there. So now you have the girl in blue and the girl in red splitting center, so you can assume those are 1-2, and then Yulia in the 3 or 4 position. So now they're going to give a couple turns. So now what we're looking for here is like, okay, how are they separating? How are they separating Yulia from the girl in the 4 position? The kind of stinky thing, in my opinion, is they never put them side by side. So if one girl's 3 and one girl's 4, put them side by side. Now, to be fair, the girl on the other side, amazing. She was stunningly pretty. She had great structure, a lot of muscle. Yulia probably had a little bit better conditioning. So it just comes down to what the judges are going to do for this show, what direction they're going to go. Unfortunately, at this show, Yulia got 4th, and you know what? Those are the breaks. But that's part of this process. It's all about getting on stage. We went and celebrated. It was amazing for her to get a gold medal. I was super proud of her. As a coach, there are days where we have good days and bad days, and these girls take it in stride probably much better than actually I do. And Steven does. You know, we were at this show, and it's just one of those things that's a lot of emotions go into the day. I hardly eat during the day, and I can tell you the day after I'm ravenous because I haven't eaten enough. But congrats to Yulia on a great season. Congrats to all these girls on a great season. We were able to narrowly take home a pro card, but hey, that just means we're set up for a fantastic 2021 for Yulia. And afterwards, we were able to take these girls out. We found a nice place in Orlando called The Whiskey. Steven and I actually ate there 2 days in a row because the burgers were so good. And so some of the girls actually met up with us right after. And yeah, that's Yulia. That's, you know, burgers always taste a lot better when you got a gold medal. But these are actually the things that you tend to remember about these shows. You know, the people that you meet. This is Jess, and I was just curious how she was going to eat this burger. That's her coach, Steven, right there. So I had to include a little bit of Canadian in the video for you. So here you guys go.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh jeez.
So yeah, of course, I can't do all the audio because of the copyright from the music playing in the background. There's Maria, there's Val, Maria's husband, TJ. So yeah, listen, it's an honor to coach these amazing people. Getting to spend this time with them is just icing on the cake. And so now we're headed to Orlando. Day Raj has got the Olympia in a few more days. Talk to you guys soon.